Have you ever heard or seen something that you could have sworn you remember differently? Do you believe in memory so much that you think everything and everyone else that tries to disprove it is wrong? If you answered yes to either of these questions, you may be a victim of the Mandela Effect. The Mandela Effect is the mass misremembrance of a certain event or item that is the same for everyone. Remember that famous quote by Darth Vader? Luke, I am your father. Well, if you remember that, you are wrong. The actual quote is, no, I am your father. Another famous quote under the effect of the Mandela Effect is Forrest Gump's quote, life is like a box of chocolates, which is actually, life was like a box of chocolates. These are just two of the thousands examples of the Mandela Effect. The Mandela Effect was created by conspiracy theorist Fiona Broome at DragonCon when she began discussing her experiences with a security guard. The Mandela Effect was named after Nelson Mandela, a South African revolutionist who was part of the biggest and most well-known Mandela Effect example. While many people believe that Nelson Mandela was captured by South African authorities and was put in prison, where he later died, he was actually released from prison and later became the president of South Africa. The most well-known theory that tries to explain the Mandela Effect is that our dimension is sliding through other dimensions, and these other dimensions are causing our history to change. Another theory is that our dimension is sliding through other dimensions, and as we slide through these dimensions, our brains morph with our other dimensional selves, and that causes our memories to change. Most theorists believe that CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, is causing these shifts between dimensions using their technology, whether intentional or not. Though some of these Mandela Effect theories may seem plausible, it is simply just your mind grabbing onto anything that can explain the seemingly unexplainable. It is much more plausible that the Mandela Effect is simply just your brain misremembering information from when you were younger or from a time when your mind wasn't entirely present. Though thousands of theorists and conspirators will tell you all sorts of mumbo-jumbo about how we are sliding through dimensions or that the government is brainwashing us, I can assure you that we are simply just not remembering correctly. Contrary to popular belief, the human brain is actually garbage at remembering stuff. Our brain can only hold so much information, so it is constantly shoving out small details like what we ate for breakfast or what color a person's eyes are. Because of this, our brain sometimes forgets certain parts of our memories, leaving gaps in them. Our brain doesn't like gaps, so it fills them in with some made-up and false information. This is why you may remember the layout of your childhood room differently than it actually is, or are positively sure that you remember someone's name differently than what they actually said. Now, you may be thinking that if the brain is just filling in gaps with false information, then why does everyone remember the same details about a certain event or object? Well, the answer to that question is that humans are social creatures, and we do anything to fit in and be like other people, sometimes without even knowing it. So when you read a blog with details about their false memory, or watch a YouTube video containing those details, then your brain subconsciously starts filling in those gaps in your memory with those details, and you begin remembering the same details as the other person. Then you tell your friends, who start remembering those details, and they tell their friends, and suddenly millions of people all remember the same false details. So now that I've told you the facts and why we are not shifting through dimensions, traveling through time, or being brainwashed by the British government, look back in your memories and think, do I really remember it that way? Thank you. Number 15, Burger King foot lettuce.